Nick, it seems like every time you catch a ball, you almost score every time. So you're off to a great start in your career. How do you think it's going?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I must be doing something right, and it's pretty easy when you got great balls being thrown by Jackson Arnold and Dylan Gabriel, and the line's blocking beautiful, so they got all the time in the world. So, I mean, that all contributes. So I'm just grateful to be a part of this team.
What's the biggest difference now from what you're doing now versus a year ago, and getting you on the field?
Just being healthy. I mean, it's really the only difference I've seen is just growing as a football player. That comes with the game. So, yes, sir.
You seem to be getting open, though. I mean, your route running has improved so much, wouldn't you say?
Yes, sir. I mean, like I said, it's a part of the game. You're going to get better when you're practicing. So just working on my craft every day. And it's easy when you got coaches like Coach Jones. I mean, he's going to get the best out of us every practice. So that's what we're looking for.
You like those deep balls, I'm sure. But what about that short one where they design a play for you, bring you off the kind of the edge there and across the formation? How much fun was that?
I'm just glad I got that play because, it could have been me or Jalil. So, I mean, the scheme was perfect, worked like a charm. And, I had Drake Stoops and Jay Gibb blocking for me, and they blocked it up perfectly. Just had to finish the job.
I figured last year is probably some of the least football you've played in a long time, last fall.
Yeah, definitely.
In
my life.
That time?
You said, how do I feel?
How do you feel that time with presumably more free time than you would have had if you were healthy and playing?
You said, how do I feel with that free time?
How did you feel?
How did you fill it up?
I'm sorry, I'm not getting the question.
Fine.
That's my bad. I'm sorry. It's right after practice. I'm fried right now.
Well, how frustrating was the health aspect of last year for you?
I mean, of course, it was frustrating, but I mean, I've said that 1,000 times. The support staff here is great, and they made sure my head was high, made sure I stayed the course, and without them, I wouldn't be here right now.
Did you learn anything from what your brother went through with all of that?
Of course. I mean,
what were the biggest takeaways from being around him and what he went through here?
I mean, I always heard from my parents that when those injuries happened, he was down, and first couple of days were the hardest. But every time I saw him as a kid, he had his head up high, he was laughing, joking, and he used comedy as one of the things, like one of the buffers. And I never saw him in a bad mood, so I think that helped me as growing up as a kid. And then when I went through it myself, just asking him for advice, he just always said the same things, just find other ways to get better and just keep your head high.
Nick, how excited are you guys to come home after being on the road, and especially having to deal with a real hostile environment this past Saturday?
I mean, I just love being in the Palace, so I'm excited for this home game. I mean, I think we only got like 3 or 4 left, so I'm gonna cherish every moment.
How much more difficult is it to communicate offensively when you got 40,000 people yelling at the top of their lungs like that?
I mean, we do a lot of nonverbal communication, so I would say it's not too big of a change, but it's definitely a factor. But Coach BB gets us right. Coach Levy gets us right by playing loud music when we're practicing during the week, so that helps a lot.
You mentioned finding other ways to get better when you're not healthy. How do you approach that? And what did you do?
Film mainly, watching the receivers in front of me, working on my ball skills, still catching jugs even if I'm not running routes on the field. So that was a big part of my game.
What do you see out of Iowa State?
Being at the Tulsa game, he was at Cincinnati too, right?
Yes, sir, he was, and my middle brother.
Did you know he was coming, and what was that like to have that support from him from so far away?
Yeah, they texted me that they were coming, and every time I have some of my family in the stands, it's a sweet moment. So I just love them seeing me do my thing.
Did you get to hang out with them at all?
A little bit, after the game around the buses, but that's it.
Nick, what do you see from Iowa State? They've had a traditional defense, what they do in the secondary and stuff. What do you see out of them?
I mean, they have a solid defense. They've always had a solid defense, one of the toughest ones we've had to face for the past years. And, I'm just excited to get to play against them my first time. So as long as we stick to the scheme, I think it's going to be a fun game.